While the puppet president in the United States, Joe Biden's approval ratings within his country is tanking, he made it successfully up the airplane stairs. Luckily it didn't fall down this time, and he's on his way to the G20 annual summit this year. You know, that's that summit where these major economies get together annually and they talk about how they can make each other's countries better, build their economies, make the lives better of the people, you know, just build diplomatic ties kind of thing. That's all you need to know about the G20 summit. There's nothing major about it, but that's about it. And he's on his way there. This year it will be held in India. And the funny thing is, India is obviously the biggest democracy in the world, the largest democracy in the world. And here we can see them cleaning up their mess just before all these leaders get to the G20 summit, just to show the world. They know the media will be there, so they want to show the world how clean India is. Watch.
And local authorities demolish slums ahead of the annual summit. Stray monkeys and dogs removed from the streets. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government denies the work was aimed at presenting a tidier image to G20 guests. But activists and those who call the area home aren't buying it.
Apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden has got a sneaky trick up his sleeve. Don't trust him. I always tell you guys, don't trust a puppet installed president. He's definitely one of them for the global elites, but he's got a sneaky trick up his sleeve. He's going to make his way on Sunday, which is tomorrow. Today is Saturday. He's going to land in Hanoi in Vietnam, ladies and gentlemen. He wants to create chaos there. He wants to go and build diplomatic ties with Vietnam. So he's meeting the head of the Communist Party over there. You know, obviously Vietnam is a socialist country, same as China. China and Vietnam has got a close relationship. But Biden is there. He wants to build diplomatic ties with Vietnam. Yeah, right, Biden. We all know you're lying. The Global Times did a fantastic article on Joe Biden that's gonna visit Vietnam. And let's take some pieces out of this article that I just want to bring to your attention. Lingering historical issues after the Vietnam War are another problem, experts said. The US committed numerous atrocities and war crimes, including using bio and chemical weapons and massacring of civilians during the war, and caused generational harm to Vietnamese people, and added to geopolitical concerns. The development of Vietnam-US ties is slow, Lee said. Yeah, my friends, we must never forget what the Americans did to the Vietnamese people in the war. They keep speaking about Russia committing these atrocities and China committing atrocities. Well, Russia's committing war atrocities and China is committing genocidal atrocities. But they never speak about what they did actually, and now they want to go run with their tails between their legs to Vietnam to go build diplomatic ties. Come on, that is just hypocritical. The Biden administration is searching for another Ukraine in Asia. Vietnam needs to stay calm and vigilant to avoid being used by the US as a pawn to contain China on its geopolitical chessboard, Lee noted. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. Biden wants to create Vietnam as another proxy war. We all know it's out in the open now that the US and NATO is actually the ones fighting the Russians inside Ukraine. There's nothing to hide about it. It's an indisputable fact. That is what's going on. It's a proxy war. Biden is trying to create the same thing, and this just comes after the Chinese created the Huawei phone, the new chip, everything. The whole phone is made out of Chinese components, and the US placed sanctions on China back in the day, 2 years ago, and in just 2 years they created their own chips, their own way of making a high-end craving by the population around the world piece of technology. And now Biden is shaking in his boots. The whole US government is shaking in their boots, and they want to use Vietnam now to contain China. Well, in my opinion, they want to start a war from there because they see they can't do it in Taiwan anymore, because that ship has sailed. China is busy working on the reunification on a peaceful way, and the Americans can't make any trouble there anymore. The chips came from Taiwan. Now China is busy making their own chips, so there's no need to the big hoo-ha about Taiwan anymore. So now they go into Vietnam to try and stir up trouble. Xu said China and Vietnam are two socialist countries with high level of mutual trust, so we don't have ideological problems, and the inter-party relationship between the Communist Party of China and the CPV Guides to the Development of Bilateral Relations, Hanoi, understands that stable relationship with China is key to safeguarding the political security of its socialist systems. You see that the Vietnamese people and the government already know that it's safer, and so by the way, the world knows that it's safer to do business with China, even if they are called the Chinese Communist Party. It doesn't matter. Forget about that word communist, because that is what the West is using to keep you scared and to build fear into you and make you hate this country. The Vietnamese, actually the world knows, it's way safer to do business with China than to do with America. That said, here we have the Americans claiming that they are the better partner to do business with America. The world is laughing. Watch.
He's also warning other leaders when it comes to economic and security matters, the U.S. makes a better, more trustworthy ally than China. Still, the United States insists its goal with China is diplomacy.
Back to real news, the Global Times article. Analysts said the US-Vietnam relations can never match the level of China-Vietnam relations, which is why Vietnam retains close communication with China before or after significant engagement with the US. So any impact of closer US-Vietnam relations should not be over-exaggerated. And I 100% agree with this article and what these experts are saying in this article. Ladies and gentlemen, it is so obvious that you can't do business with America. They will bite you in the bottom. I'm not going to say bad words because then YouTube just blocks us, but they will bite you in the bottom. It's been proven over and over again. Once you get close to the US or do business with the US or become friends or allies or whatever, they turn on you like pit bull Rottweilers. These people are hypocritical, installed puppets by global elites that want to control us, that want to destroy different ideologies, that want to destroy governments that actually care for the people's well-being. That is the issue here. And Joe Biden is old, he's senile, he's a perfect candidate to be led and instructed what to do to cause chaos around the world. Luckily, China's military is strong enough to hold back against these global elites, evil powers. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the G20 is underway. It's just going to be a bootlicking festival. And here's something very important. The two real leaders of this world, the two only leaders you should look up to or you should listen to are Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very important to understand. Xi Jinping is not going to the summit, and he will be the first Chinese president to not visit the G20 summit. That is huge. That is big. That is way bigger than what you think. This is a clear signal that China don't want to do business with hypocritical American government officials. The Chinese want to do business with the world fairly. They know you can't do business with America fairly. It's gonna end up bad. And so, by the way, as I said in my stream yesterday, the multipolar world is knocking on the door, and China and Russia is making this happen. You should rejoice. I rejoice. Ladies and gentlemen, the multipolar world is here, whether you like it or not. BRICS is the future. And so, by the way, the bunch of clowns there at the clown show at the G20 summit, they all are shaking in their boots when the BRICS alliance or the BRICS group gets together to discuss the future of their countries and their people, because they know it's a system that's going to work, and it's a system that's going to destroy their fake, false, hypocritical lies they try to sell to you and me. Anyway, this is me, Jerry Good, reporting from inside China. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, leave your comment, tell me what you think. The link to the Global Times article will be in the description. Go read through it. It will give you a lot of insights into what's happening with Joe Biden's visit to the new Ukraine called Vietnam. Hopefully the Vietnamese people are strong enough to reject what is coming. And so, by the way, the population of Vietnam is already rejecting this visit, which is a big thumbs up from me. Subscribe, like, I'll see you next time. Cheers from inside this beautiful city, Qingdao.